So on the backs of several major announcements this week in relation to the Chicago Blackhawks sexual assault case, the CBC and AP are reporting today two major developments. First of all, we'll get into a meeting between Gary Bettman and current Jets GM Cheveldayoff. Kevin Cheveldayoff was part of the Chicago Blackhawks management that was in place in 2010 in the playoffs, where the incident is alleged to have occurred. Now, the NHL said in a press release it will not discipline Cheveldayoff in connection with the Chicago team's mishandling of sexual assault allegations against a former coach from 11 years ago. The news follows Cheveldayoff's meeting with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman on Friday. The league said he was found as not responsible for the improper decisions made by the team related to Brad Aldrich, who allegedly sexually assaulted player Kyle Beach during the team's Stanley Cup run in 2010. Now, as the week has gone on, former head coach Joel Quenneville, who was guiding the Florida Panthers, has resigned. Stan Bowman, the GM of the Blackhawks, has resigned, as well as other officials. Now, according to press release, while on some level it would be easiest to paint everyone with any association to this terrible matter with the same broad brush, I believe that fundamental fairness requires a more in-depth analysis of each person, said Gary Bettman in a press release. Again, he said the improper decisions were not in his responsibility at that moment. He was not a member of Chicago's senior leadership team in 2010, said Bettman, and I cannot therefore assign him responsibility for the club's actions or inactions. He provided a full account of his degree of involvement in the matter, which was limited exclusively to his attendance at a single meeting, and I found him to be extremely forthcoming and credible in our discussion. Now, this meeting in question involved Bowman, Quenneville, and other officials, saying that there's a sexual assault was alleged to have occurred with Aldrich against Beach. Now, Aldrich has claimed in information provided that the incident was consensual. Now, the NHL announcement again comes a day after the Panthers head coach Joel Quenneville resigned on Thursday after a meeting with Bettman. Now, again, Stan Bowman has already resigned, and talking executive Al McIsaac has also resigned following the release of an independent report from the law firm Jenner & Block. Commissioned by the Chicago team in response to ongoing lawsuits, the report found that the team failed to act for 3 weeks after leadership discussed the allegations at a meeting on May 23, 2010. Cheveldayoff was Chicago's assistant GM at the time. In its release, the NHL says his participation at the meeting was extremely limited in scope and substance, and noted that most people didn't initially recall his presence. The league says Cheveldayoff, who's been a GM to the Jets since the team were relocated to Winnipeg from Atlanta in 2011, was the lowest-ranked official in the room and essentially an observer to the discussion of possible next steps. The discussion, the league said, apparently ended with Cheveldayoff believing that the matter was going to be investigated. In a statement shared by the Jets, Cheveldayoff said he wanted to express support and empathy for Beach and all he's endured since 2010. Now, according to the press release from Cheveldayoff to the Jets, first and most importantly, I want to express my support of and empathy for Kyle Beach and all he has had to endure since 2010. Now, Beach came out of the closet this week and saying he was the John Doe referred to in the lawsuits. He was incredibly brave coming forward to tell his story. We can all use his courage as an inspiration to do a better job of making hockey a safer space for anyone who wants to play the game. Further, I want to express my gratitude to the NHL for the opportunity to meet with Commissioner Bettman in person and directly share my role and recollection of events while I was AGM of the Chicago Blackhawks in 2010. Now, Cheveldayoff was also the executive vice president of the Jets. Basically, did not refer to the information that Quenneville either misheard or misrepresented early in the week. From what they're saying, and some sources are saying, Cheveldayoff was there as an observer, but he had no direct impact on what they were going to do about it. He was under the impression, which he stated publicly and privately over the last few weeks, he thought it was going to be taken care of. He wasn't involved, not say there was a cover-up, but there was a lack of information provided. Now, other breaking story happened through the AP, through writer Jay Cohen. Chicago has asked the Hockey Hall of Fame to cover Aldrich's name on the Stanley Cup. Now, Chicago team owner Rocky Wirtz said he wants the Hockey Hall of Fame to cover the name of Aldrich, which was engraved on the Stanley Cup in the 2010 championships. He has been again accused. In a letter addressed to the Hockey Hall of Fame chairman Lanny McDonald, dated Thursday, Wirtz writes that Brad Aldrich's conduct disqualifies him for being included on the cup, and the team made a mistake by submitting his name. I am humbly requesting that the Hockey Hall of Fame consider Xing out his name on the Stanley Cup, Wirtz wrote. While nothing can undo what he did, leaving his name in the most prestigious trophy in sports seems profoundly wrong. The Hall of Fame cannot remove a name from the Stanley Cup, but it can decide to engrave a series of X's to cover it up. In his letter, Wirtz pointed to the case of Basil Pocklington, the father of the former Edmonton Oiler, who had his name engraved on a trophy after the Oilers won their first title in '84, but then was covered at the NHL's request because Basil Pocklington had nothing to do with the team. That decision, among others, reflects the Cubs' story history of engraving mistakes, misspellings, and errors that have ended up enshrined in silver or have been corrected after the fact. Wirtz writes. Now, ESPN first reported on the letter, and a message was left Friday by the AP seeking comment from the Hall of Fame, but none was forthcoming. Now, Wirtz and Chicago are picking up the pieces of the franchise's shattered reputation after a released report Tuesday detailing how the team's senior leaders badly mishandled the allegations against Aldrich more than a decade ago. The independent review by the law firm, again, was commissioned by the team in response to two lawsuits. One by former first-round pick Kyle Beach, alleging sexual assault by Aldrich in 2010, and another filed by a former high school student who Aldrich was convicted of assaulting in Michigan. Now, Rocky Wirtz said Tuesday that he and Danny Wirtz, his son and the team CAO, was first made aware of the accusations ahead of the May filing of Beach's lawsuit, an assertion by the owner that was also supported by the report from General Block. Now, Beach, again, is slated to meet with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and Donald Fear, the leader of the NHLPA, via separate Zoom calls on Saturday. Susan Loggins, an attorney representing Beach in the lawsuit, said Fear's time has been confirmed and are still working to finalize the schedule for the Bettman meeting. Now, Loggins said Bettman and Fear have contacted her to asking to meet with Beach. According to Chicago's report, Fear was contacted twice about allegations connecting to Aldrich, including by a Beach confidant. Fear told investigators he couldn't recall either conversation, but did not deny they had occurred. He said Wednesday in a statement that there was no doubt that the system had failed Beach, and we are part of that system. Now, Stan Bowman, the GM, again, is still resigned. There was some question if he was going to be considered for reinstatement, but that's been thrown out the window. Now, the NHL also fined the team $2 million for the organization's inadequate internal procedures and insufficient or timely response. Now, the consequences of what Chicago did in 2010, specifically a 3-week period during the playoffs when he failed to act on Beach's allegations, allowed Aldrich to remain around the team while it celebrated the title, reverberated through the NHL this week. Now, again, Quenneville and Cheveldayoff were with Chicago when Beach's accusations were first reported to team leadership, and Aldrich has told investigators the encounter was consensual. Now, there's been other allegations, possibly a member of Chicago management or staff may have been assaulted during the weeks between the initial incident and the Stanley Cup parade and events. I guess allegedly Aldrich came on to a staff member, probably an intern, so we're not exactly sure if this is the final accusation. And there's also been rumors going around another player besides a high school student may have been involved within the Chicago organization. But which is kind of interesting for us in the media, young Beach was the #1 draft pick of Chicago Chicago prior to being one of the Black Aces, the call-ups for the playoff run to skate with the team, which is normal practice for young players, but he never played in the NHL ever. He minor pro at the most in North America, elite leagues in Europe, but again, as it stands right now, Cheveldayoff is the only key management member of that Chicago group that is either that's not resigned or not facing any type of recrimination. Will there be civil lawsuits on this? We don't know, but all we know is this: it will take a very interesting amount of cleanup for the NHL to deal with this, because Chicago was considered, is considered, because they're an original 6-team Stanley Cup champions, many titles in recent memory. They're considered a marquee team, and you can see on the performance on the ice this year, it's getting very tough. And Marc-Andre Fleury, some of the other players coming in, the situation has been terrible in recent days. Now, the Chicago BlackHawks have a lot of fans throughout North America and internationally. A lot of Aboriginal kids look up to the BlackHawks because they have played several Aboriginal players over the years, and their logo reflects the pride that many people have in, like, what they call the warrior state of sports in a positive light. So, will Chicago itself, well, the Black Sox scandal in 1919 was enough, but this is pretty bad, where numerous members of your management, including the son of an icon, this is Scotty Bowman's son, you could have easily said, let's deal with it right away. Playoffs be damned. Because when you don't report a sexual assault, you become just as bad as the rapist or the molester, because you're protecting yourself by not exposing the perpetrator. That's my opinion, and the opinion of many people. I am a fan of the Chicago Blackhawks over the years. I give the benefit of the doubt. Mistakes do happen, but they must learn better, do better, and be better for every sexual assault survivor across North America. Thanks for listening. Bye.